Hello, welcome back to Nuts and Guts, the game project I'm working on as a tutorial, doing a multiple door opening game. No, a platformer game, that is the series we're doing. It just so happens that the last 3 episodes all revolved around this, door mechanic. That being said, though, the door mechanic is very useful for disappearing platforms, reappearing platforms, dropping boulders, which I currently have disabled here, and all sorts of other things. So, platform, or the switching mechanism is extremely useful, so I do recommend taking a look at that. First thing we do, before anything else, is we're going to modify our switch. Okay, so today's episode is going to deal with okay, so we're gonna get rid of all this in our switch. So today's episode is going to be working on... Yes, I want to delete that. It's going to be working on a conveyor or speed block. Okay. Good old staple of the platforming genre. So we're going to have a conveyor or speed block. But just before continuing, we're going to clean up our code, get rid of the old code from the switch, line up the new code, make it a little prettier, get rid of the old variables because we are no longer using them. And then one more thing that's been really bugging me, and we're going to fix this. I'm going to get my trigger box, going to stretch it out sideways, and then compile, save, close that. Gonna take my switches and just, move them over a tad. There we go. Because I have to jump over them every single bloody time. So now, we should be able to walk past them. Yay, they're a little too far out now for my liking. There we go. But now we should be able to walk by, but still activate the switches. That is so much better. Okay. Sorry guys, but that was really bugging me. So on to the speed or conveyor block. Okay, so in our hazards, and go back to our main folder, we are going to add a new blueprint, which is an actor. I am recording? Yes. Sorry, sometimes I have to second check myself. And we are going to do a conveyor platform. Okay, so conveyor platform. And the conveyor platform is actually stupid simple. Like, it is really shamefully easy. So, I'm gonna drop that out in our world. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's double click on our conveyor platform. We are going to add our good old friend, the box collision. Box collision. And we're just going to make it the root by clicking and dragging it over top of the scene component. And then the other thing we're going to do is, just for viewership's sake, we are going to add an arrow. And this will give us a representation in the world of what direction this box is going. Okay. Now, on the event graph, we're going to get rid of everything. And we are going to do an event tick. Okay. I do not like event tick. Just getting that out there. I usually do my own custom loops, which we will do at some point in the series. But in this case, event tick works perfectly well. And what this is it ticks for every frame that the game runs. So, what we're going to do is we're going to drag off event tick. And nope, no we're not. We're going to get our box first. So box, and we are going to drag off our box, and we're going to get overlapping. Get overlapping actors. And there we go. Okay. So instead of triggering when the... So typically with our switch, on our box we did this on overlap, or on begin overlap event, which is awesome. It triggers as soon as something walks into it. But with this get overlapping actors, we can tell it to grab what's inside its zone at any time. That's also a very useful thing. And it returns an array, or so a list of all the actors that are available to us. So what we're going to do here is we are going to do a for each loop so that we can go through each of those results that it has gotten for us. Move that up, move that over, just make everything pretty. Okay. And then we are going to, from there, add world offset. And our target is going to be the actors we find. Okay. Now, instead of putting in a set value here, which we could very well do, we could just say, okay, positive X and negative X, so it always moves in that direction. But we want to make this easier for our level designers later, and we are going to get actor forward vector. Okay? And the forward vector is always the X. The local X, no matter how we rotate our box around or how we rotate our actor around, and that's why we added our arrow. Okay, that arrow is going to point on our local X, see on our local X, the red axis, so that we know which way it's going to move things. Okay? We are then going to get our delta seconds. So the delta seconds is what fraction of a second it's running the tick on. So if we're at 60 frames per second, 1/60th. So we are going to multiply those delta seconds by a variable. So we're going to add a new variable, and we are going to do this units per second. Okay, and that will be a float. And this way we can quickly add what we want, or what speed we want our conveyor to run at. We can run it at, say, okay, compile, save, so we can change this value. We can run it at 500. Oh, not 5,000, 500 units per second. And then we are going to have to multiply our vector by the new number. So we are going to, again, put the asterisk in there for multiplication. Vector times a float, so our forward vector multiplied by our new modified speed value. And we're going to put that into our location. Okay. And that is that. That should do it for us. Just gonna do some house cleaning here. Yeah, I like that. That is clean enough. And what this is going to do, and we're going to comment this on tick, add location to actors in zone. And that's what we're doing. We're adding location, so pushing them along in a direction to all the actors in the zone. So everything that gets put on that conveyor. Okay. Well, let's go test this out. So we've got our box here. Not a very good test zone, so we are going to hit R to do stretching and stretching. And then we're going to zero out the Y, so we're all on that track. That arrow is really bugging me now. We're going to fix that in a moment. Okay, so we come over here, we hit our switch 1. Come over here, we hit our switch 2, get our platform back. We come over here, it slows me down, and if I let go, it pushes me off. So there is our conveyor. For testing purposes, let's make it so we can see that. So we're going to double click here again, over to our viewport and box. Our box, we're going to scroll down, and under rendering, right there. So we've got visible, so this is visible in the editor, and hidden in game. We want to turn off hidden in game. Let's see if we can't do the same for our arrow. Okay. Let's see if that does it for us. Yes, we've got ginormous ugly arrow over there. Okay, we gotta fix that. slow down and push me off. And if I walk in the same direction, does it speed me up? That it does. So we have a conveyor or a speed block. Woo! Okay, so here we are going to introduce ourselves for the first time. Well, if this is your first time seeing it, the construction script. Okay, so we're going to open up the construction script. So this is an interesting thing. So this fires before event begin play. But the other cool thing about this here is it fires in the editor every time the actor or the blueprint you're working on is modified. So it's really neat that way. So as you're moving things around, if you have a script happening here, this is going to happen as you're rescaling your actor, as you're moving it around in the level, as you're spawning it in, deleting it. This is going to happen inside the editor without the game actually playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our arrow, and we are going to set scale. And we are going to set the world scale 3D. We're going to set it to 1, 1, 1. Okay. Compile, save. There we go. And see, as soon as I saved it, you can see... And we'll just do a print string. So as soon as I save this, you'll see along this line a little animation showing that it's running. Look at that. Okay. So we're just going to pretty this up real quick again. And there we go. And this is rescale arrow. Okay? And what this is doing is as we scale the box and we stretch it all out of proportion, I'm going to tell the arrow in world space, not relative to the box, but in world space, to go back to 1, 1, 1, to start at its original size. And that's all that is. Okay? So now we should see, hey, we got a tiny arrow. And if we stretch this box, our arrow will stay the same size. It's not getting bigger or smaller. It's always staying the same size. Ain't that fancy? Okay. And the other thing with this here is because we set the units per second as a variable, we are going to double click on here and go eyeball open. We love that little eyeball, don't we? Because then when we save this again, we should have units per second right there. So I can now set this to 1,000 units per second. Play our game. Open. Close. Walk over and whoa. And if I jump on top of it, oh, it's going too fast. I can't get past it. And if I jump on it, it throws me off. So, running jump. Okay. But yeah, that is the conveyor platform. Or the speed boost platform. Whatever you want to call it. Very, very simple. Pretty straightforward. And with that little arrow representation there, if we decide to, say, rotate it around, it's always going to point in the direction that it is traveling in. So, gee, let's see. Will this throw our character up in the air? This will be an interesting test. Woo! No, it does push him up a little bit, but the gravity's harder. Although, if we set this to... Okay, come on. Get back here. You thing. There we go. What if we set this to, like, 100,000? We're just going crazy now. Now we're just testing things and having fun, because we already made a conveyor. And we're like, what happens if I turn it all the way up and point it into the sky? Woo! Well, the character jumps. Woo! The character is, in essence, teleported into the air. Okay. Maybe not the best use case there for that particular setup, but it's entertaining. Okay, so let's set this down, and let's just double check that it does work as a speed boost as well. So we're going to turn this way down. We're going to turn this back down to like 1,000. Because 500 was pretty good, but 1,000 will be better. Gonna play, open our door, put our platform back, and then we've got that unit there, and then we can, woo! And then if we try to go the other way, it won't quite let us. But yeah, speed block and or conveyor. There you are. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.